Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. It's been pretty interesting for a lot of us the past little bit here. There's been so much energy. Holy cannoli. There's so much going on that a lot of us are kind of feeling like the need to question or find out if anyone else is going through anything. So I really do apologize. I wasn't able to come on Friday. Just stuff is happening with our weather. It's really bizarre. We didn't have a fall, we didn't have an autumn, and then we didn't have a spring. Well, now we're having spring after summer's supposed to have started. So there's a few of you who've already commented. Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Spiritual Warrior says, I can't wait to see all of you soon. Stephanie Allen says, good day, everyone. My hands are busy cleaning silver, but I'm listening. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Stephanie. Zeta, morning all. I don't know if anyone else caught this. Stephanie right here. She's the one that joined us a cut like last Friday, I think it was. That was really a fun chat that we had together. We'll be doing another one at some point in the future. Genevieve says, oh, am I so tired? Yes. Today, neither here nor there feeling. Yes. So much in that same boat with you. It's been just a profound tired. Holy cow. It's been really intense. And I know that whenever we get this kind of tired, we're always meant to we're being called to just go into that place of rest so we can get downloads. A lot of times I found that to happen for me where I would start to get like certain type of headaches that would make me close my eyes because when I would get it, I would close my eyes and then I can get that download. Tired is also no sound. Can you hear me? I see that there's someone said there's no sound. Can anybody hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me because it says it's on. Hello, hello. Um, I'm just going to keep talking and well, if it's not working, we'll figure it out. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thank you. Um, Amy says, hello, 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 welcome. And also thank you, Kendra. Greetings from Oklahoma, says Catherine. Awesome. Welcome. That's a really cool place to be right now. Mia says, glad to see you now, Pamela. Good to see you too, sweetie. Yeah, I'm sorry about not being able to come on Sunday. It's some things you just can't have any control over. So, Kendra, love you all. Love you too. Spiritual Warrior, I'm here. Hello, all. Good to see you. Genevieve, sound is good here. Maybe try going out and coming back. Oh, that's why she's talking to. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I'm glad that the sound is working now. Energies are loud today. Yes, Amy. So I haven't actually looked. I meant to look, but I didn't. I feel to me, this is what it feels like when we're getting a solar flare and the Schumann resonance is spiking at the same time. I haven't looked. I usually do. For any of you who want to, by the way, there's some really awesome. These are some really awesome resources. All you have to do is just type in these things. So solar flare and then solar flare activity, and then you'll get a lot of resources. And I am going to. I think I'm going to spell it the right way. Yeah, I spelled it right. Resonance. And then this is I'm typing in now. That's Schumann resonance. That's if you I think I spelled that right. Stephanie, if you would check that for me, please. I know you're busy with silver, but if you would please. This you can type that into a search engine of any kind and it will tell you the Schumann resonance is the heartbeat of Gaia, the heartbeat of the earth that we reside on and within. And so as we feel her heartbeat, it accelerates and gets louder and bigger. You can see it on this monitor, this gauge. It shows you as it's coming in. It's really cool, and it just helps us to kind of feel what's happening, or to have like some type of scientific data that we can connect to and say that's proof that we're all feeling this right now. Right now, however, there is a thing that feels like a portal happening. I don't know what that is exactly. I mean, I'm assuming that what we're feeling is the beginning energies of the solstice that happens on June 20th, I believe. I always mix them up. I think December's the 21st, and then in June it's the 20th, but I might be wrong. That energy during that time, we're also having other things happening. I can feel it coming in. And so I think this has a lot to do with that upgrade leading up to that moment. And so it's something to just keep in mind. Yeah, it's just intense out here right now. Feeling shaky, this weird okay, so this happened a while ago. I would say it's the last time it happened was 3 years ago, maybe 4. I can't remember for sure. Time is that's another one too, by the way, time slippage. I can't keeping track of time of the calendar as well as the time on the clock is just beyond me anymore. It's so we're not existing in time as much, so it's harder to connect with it. Anyway, so back then there was this eyebrow. The eyebrow would twitch forever, like on and off for days, weeks, and then it went over to this other one in that same amount of time, and then it went down to the lower eyelid and then the other eyelid, and I remember noticing thinking to myself because then it moved down into my lips slowly and down here, and then I started to have vibrations and different kind of Charlie horses even throughout my body. Well, I noticed that didn't actually happen to my upper eyelids, and that was interesting until now. Now I'm getting it on the eyelid. Oh my goodness, that is really annoying. And it just all throughout the night and day, whatever, it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not I'm awake. It's just a thing. I know that when it first happened, I had channeled into it, and Archangel Michael explained that it's the shaking out, is what he called it. Is that you'll feel these vibrations and shakings and twitchings as the density is leaving. It's kind of the visual I was given that he held up a hose to like a garden hose up to the mesh on a window, like the screen that we use, and though the water was still getting out, it was shaking the screen and just because we are considered the screen, right? And so there's just this movement and motion that happens. And that's why a lot of this twitching and weird stuff that's happening. Um, the sacral chakra area. Well, I should go back to what you guys are commenting on for a bit before I go on my tangent. I actually recorded a video to post and I went to put it up and it said I couldn't put it up unless I deleted one of my videos. I had too much in my phone. And so I went through that port that angle to delete it instead of going to the videos like normal, and it deleted all of it. So it deleted the one I had just done too. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to do it this second. I have the plan to do it today, though. Do another one today. So we'll see how that goes. It's really interesting that that happened. I've never had that happen before. Um, Spiritual warrior. Um, she says, I enjoyed last week. I enjoyed last week with Stephanie. I subscribed to her channel. Thank you. Yes. Geeky like I was hit by a bus, then couldn't sleep. Too wired. Yes. Yes. It was, oh, and it's just kind of the past 2 days, really. Okay, and the irritability, man. This one, I feel bad about it because I'm talking with beautiful people, people who are speaking beautiful truths and doing awesome, and I'm just like, "Mm." And it's just really, I don't like that feeling. I know that when these irritations and these types of things come in, they're just they're not coming in to stay. They're like a movement through because the conduit that we are. These outside emotional things aren't us, and they just need to be seen and acknowledged for what they are so that they can continue to move on and not, stay forever. It's just something that's happening for me right now that I just really don't care for all that much. Um, Kendra, and my entire back is sore. The back, I actually wrote that down 3 times because 3 different ways because it's just coming through so much, like the back stuff. Okay, so before, I don't know if we discussed this in our last live or not. I can't recall, but before we would notice that the we were noticing the wings that were coming in, the energetic wings, and it still kind of feels funny to say it out loud because it's one of those things that people don't really talk about, and there are people. A lot of us are feeling wings coming in. And so the first sensation of it is like you're noticing that your shoulders are kind of sore, like the muscle above the shoulder, like this space here, is having more tightness, like you're over compensating for something. And then the between the shoulder blades and the back, there's this like coming back out of being, like your hand falls asleep and the pins and needles kind of sensation, as well as like an achiness a bit, and also really feeling like off center, like trying to find out your new balance as you have this new thing happening. This has been going on for a while now, and a lot of people have noticed it. What's happening now, this is really cool, is I hadn't really even considered the fact that years ago when it was a concept that I was just considering, is that we actually have many of us have several sets of wings. And so, and in my experience, there are three. The wingspan is twice the height of your height, is how it works out. Like this, there's symmetry. It's really cool. And then just below that first set, there's another set. And for me, below that second set, there's a third set. So there's wings, wings, and wings. And so as we're starting to have those come online, we're starting to sense them. And in fact, you can manipulate them and actually touch other individuals and they can feel it without telling them what you're doing or anything like that. It's really kind of a fun little experiment of validation. And so this lower spine area, lower back in particular, mid to lower back, people are having a lot of sensation there right now. It's very uncomfortable. And it just, you can't really find a right spot that you need to go to. Finding that it's popping a lot too, your back popping right there. It's like finding an alignment. I've known for a little bit, and we've talked about it before, that we have all these chakras down each one of our vertebrae, each one of our joints. And there's a lot more chakras. They teach us the main seven, which those are real, those are true. And then we have more, lots more. And the ones that are coming online a bit more are the ones around the joints and particular down the spine. And so that's also part of something that we're experiencing with that. So just keeping that in mind. Carmen, it's so good to see you, brother. I missed you. How are you? I haven't seen Carmen for a little while. Um, Kendra says, my entire bow. Yeah, I read that. Okay. Um, Brandy, greetings from Austin, Texas. Welcome. Good to see you, Brandy. Spiritual Wired, loud and clear. Okay, cool. Me too, Kendra, says Genevieve. Very sore today and truly just don't have tears to shed. Otherwise, I would be a waterfall. Yeah, yeah, that's weird. Thank you for saying that, Genevieve. I've been noticing that too. And that's part of that irritability is there's not a release. Like I have become generally a person that's always weeping. Like there's always a tear, but usually it's of joy and happiness. And oh, I just love everybody. And now I'm just like, mm, don't touch me. Like what is going on? And a release for that would be very useful right now to have those tears. I still get them. I still have been crying here and there a little bit, but not like a release that I'm used to. Um, by the way, for those of you who don't know, crying is one of the most powerful superpowers that we have in this journey. We using this way of release, of expression, of allowing it to just move through is so healing. There's another method if you can't connect to crying, and I'm actually going to try this. I'm going to cry this. I'm going to try this after this meeting. I've forgotten about it, is laughter. So if we allow ourselves to engage in something that creates laughter, often when you need that, it's very difficult to inspire it. So there's this thing that they do. It's called laughing yoga. I've never actually gone to an official laughing yoga thing, but we've done it before, just a group of us. And what it is that somebody starts to laugh, and it, it's hard to not laugh when someone else is laughing, right? After, especially, they get kind of going, and before you know it, I don't even know why we're laughing. This practice came around for a lot of different reasons, but the main point that brought my attention to it was had released it in some type of healing journal, talking about the results of these laughing yoga sessions. The people who were going initially having like all kinds of physical difficulties, circulation, cholesterol, chronic dis-ease of all kinds. And then doing these laughing yoga sessions, all of a sudden their heart difficulties were improved and everything was just perfect again. So anyway, it's also a way of, it's the same kind of thing as the crying, same kind of release. Um, the last one I want to say quickly before I forget is you can also um, uh, connect to some of these. I watch these compilations. I can never remember what they're called when I want to tell somebody, but it's like nice people being nice to each other, humans being nice to each other, random acts of kindness. It's just silly. There's tons of them on YouTube, and it's strange, but watching it and seeing humans being human to each other, it really helps to just kind of, it makes me cry. It makes me, oh, I just love everybody here and look how great everybody is. So that's another method to do it. Um, Thank you, Spiritual Warrior. There's also an app, she says, for solar flashes and human resonance. There's a lot. Oh, and there's also that volcano that's happening. Down south. I can't remember exactly the specific region, but I'm sure you're all aware of that. And when we have these types of things, that's the three things that I look at. I pop it up. I'll actually, after the fact, I'll go into the comments and add those three resources into the comment section so you guys can have access to them. They're just really useful. I look at them all the time, day, weekly. It used to be daily. Nikki, sorry. Trey says, hi, everyone. Hello. Good to see you. Nikki, me too. Time is moving quickly to where I can't keep up. Yes, yes, yes. It's so interesting. And there's that paradox too, or that conundrum, or what's the right word? Which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of idea with it is that they've always said, like, as far as my whole life anyway, that as you age, time speeds up. Time goes faster the older that you are. And assuming that the child experienced time at a slower rate than the adult, it's so noticeable that you want to ask, is that true? Or is all, no matter the age, experiencing time at the same speed? It's all speeding up, because it is. And what's more is, so there was all this stuff starting to happen. There was some like conflicts or just attempt to draw attention to some type of a outside drama thing happening that I kind of leaned into a bit and kind of wanted to know something about it. I have to turn off my ringer. I'm so sorry. I forgot to do that. And I totally lost what I was talking about. That is so bizarre. I apologize. Well, if it comes back up in my mind, then it will come back up into what we were supposed to talk about. Oh, yes. Um, and then there was all of these things happening in the world that weren't happening to me. And I was like, well, what's the deal? And all of a sudden I saw that I was this Bible verse, and I'm not somebody who is very versed in the Bible. I'm was brought up Christian and all that stuff, and we did have Bible studies and things. I just don't contain a lot of that information. However, so it brought me to this particular passage in Matthew. I think it was 22, and it talked about, you will hear rumors. You will hear rumors of wars, of famine, of disease, and all these different things, but it really won't affect you. For the few elect, as time will speed up. The elect is translated as the chosen ones, and that's a plural. There's many of us. There are many of us on this experience who are in this chosen one place. You know what I mean? And so, and as we are in this space, we're noticing time speeding up, as well as a variety of other things. And this was done in order to spare the elect, I think is the wording. But so that was Matthew 22. So if you want to go check it out and find the quote for sure, because I probably slaughtered it. Catherine says, yes, back all over. Yep, a lot of back stuff. Also, this back sensation thing is going down into the tailbone, kind of sticking around in the hips or in the knees. So a lot of people are having that. There's this strange movement sensation that goes down behind the legs and kind of hangs out behind the knees. And this is this movement energy. And so the way we can resolve this is we can ground more, meaning specifically, if you can, step outside barefoot. Even if you can't go into nature, which is the most awesome and optimal situation, to be able to stand on grass, soil, something like that. If you can't, concrete works just, better than nothing, and another thing that I will do in the winter time, in the colder months, for it's so cold outside and the world is covered with a thick layer of a few feet of snow and ice, I'll bring soil into the house and I'll just set my feet on top of it for, like 5 minutes or so a day. And that really helps. There's a process called the ionization process that occurs when we touch our feet on the soil. And it sand as well, these different natural elements. Um, and what happens is our body contains a whole bunch of what's called positively charged ions. And that sounds positive, right? Yeah, that's what I want. No, you want the negative ones. And so as we stand on the ground, as we put our feet as well as our palms and our wrists. So that's what I'll usually do is I'll lay down and have my knees bent. So I'll have my feet straight on the ground and just kind of go into a place of meditation. And that will really help. Um, for those of you that I've had this conversation with before, a few of you too, that struggle with the the sensation of being like feeling like you have like crawlies on you or the grass bothers you and tickles you or itches you or something like that. A lot of people have been going out with like a yoga mat or a towel. And you can your whole body doesn't have to be on the ground, from the tip of your head, down to your pelvis. You could be on this mat and then just having, your wrists and your hands as well as your feet touching the ground. This really helps for the ionization process as well as another point. There's a reason that we have the largest pores on our body are on the soles of our feet. That's where we have typically, until we paved the world with concrete and put shoes on everyone's feet, is we used to pick up the minerals and things that we didn't from our food that we needed in our diet in our body. We would draw it up from the soil through the soles of our feet. And so that's another thing to consider as well. It just helps a lot to ground. I saw someone mention Epsom salt. That's my go-to on so many things. Someone compared me to my big fat Greek wedding and the father that used to spray Windex on everything. Epsom salt, that's always my answer. But Epsom salt really does solve a lot of problems. It definitely doesn't solve everything. And most of solutions that we use, hey, it's 12/22. I saw someone else said 12/12. Um, is that they're temporary or they at least ease it, but don't make it go all the way away. Sometimes they do. So just up to you and how it works. All one that yesterday was, oh, of course. Yesterday was 555 portal, last one of the year. Thank you. I knew there was a portal and I couldn't figure it out. It felt just like it. It still feels like it too, though there's always an aftermath sensation. Thank you, all one, very much. Mia says, oh, it's specifically for Kendra. So, um, Golden, glad to see you, Pamela. I have had pain in an area where I've had surgery uh, near my ovary 7 years ago. It's the nerve pain. Okay, so this nerve sensation that a lot of people are having this nerve sensation. It feels like some people said it feels like electricity and electricity movement and nerves, neurological movement, the motion of that electricity of the nerve feels very similar. And so um, I'm wondering if that has to do with what a lot of us are experiencing. Oh, there goes my eyelid again. Oh, I wonder if that's what everyone's talking about, that this experience is the same thing that you're going through right now. Often we will notice lately a lot of self-healing, auto-healing is what they're calling it, um, because it's done without true intent. I mean, the intention's there, though it's without knowledge or something. It's simply being open and having given consent, and also being in a place where you are able to accept that higher light. All that we're It depends on where you're at in your day-to-day life as well. So one day it'll work and one it won't, and then it'll work again. Um, and this auto healing definitely feels kind of intense. After the fact, then there's healing. It's always an area, from in my experience anyway, that has had some type of disruption in the past. I had completely like I shattered my foot a few years ago and it didn't heal right, and now it's completely better. It's and so something like that, I wonder if that's what you're going through. I don't know for sure. Thank you for sharing, Golden. Danita, good to see you, sweetie. Hello. I've been wondering about you. Kendra. Okay, she's talking to Mia, so I'm going to let her have her privacy. All one. Yes, laughter, light photon power, I call it, can really assist. Oh, wow. I like that. Light photon power. I like the way that you wrote that too. POWERRRR. I like that. Um, Karen, sending love to you from Vancouver, Washington. Hello, it's so good to see you, Ken. Or I said, well, I don't know what I said, but your name is Karen. In my head, I said Kendra, so I want to be sure I said your name right. My cat has been constantly crying. Yes. Oh my goodness. The pets. I'm going to cough. Excuse me. Excuse me. The pets, and not simply, not only house pets and pets that we have, animals that we have around us, but the animals of the forest as well. Like I live, um, pretty rural, and the coyote and the wolves and dude, the flocks of wild turkey, and they're like having like gangland art, like battles and stuff. It's just crazy to watch these animals be acting the way that they are. A lot of them are also having ascension symptoms. I didn't finish reading your comment. I probably should continue. The crying and restlessness of this cat, and doesn't want to play with her toys. My 77-year-old body is absolutely riddled with pain. Okay, so to finish the statement about the cat and the pets, that's really common. That's really common for a lot of reports right now. People, so the solution that I have found that works very well is any kind of selenite. It doesn't have to be selenite. It can be a different crystal. I've been using this one just to start with, and it always has worked. So, it ain't broken kind of thing. So, just tracing their chakra down with starting from the top down the spine, down, 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 down into the tip of the end of them. So if you can get through to the tip of her tail, then that will be useful. Though I don't know if I've ever met a cat that lets you do that with a crystal. So we'll see. Also, you can do it down from the front if they really want to bare their belly. Then that means that it really does help. Um, the animals are having a lot of visual stuff too, because more and more energies are kind of making themselves known in their presence, because we're starting to come to a point where we can perceive that they're there. So they're starting to say, okay, then I'll let you see me. So that's something that's happening as well. um, and you're riddled with pain. I'm really sorry to hear that, Karen. I've had a really rough couple of days too. Like, I don't know what's. I feel like I'm having a grand purge, is what I will call it. Like all kinds of sensation, very similar to like having an illness, but a more profound one. Even food poisoning kind of example, but it's just I know it's temporary. Um, I've been taking a lot of Epsom salt baths, and they always help. So that's something to consider as well. I'm really, as we go through this, the sensation for our body, everything in our body is something telling us, our body telling us something, right? And so the specific area of our body that's being brought up is telling us of that specific thing about our emotional background, like that's something that needs to be healed, something that we could look at to address in the future, that will help us to. Um, so, a lot of us come here with a lot of things from our past lives. These past lives have a variety of different things that we've not fully healed through, as well as other people having not fully healed through things. And then we've come in and decided to pick those up to heal through them in order to assist the greater whole. And so a lot of us are having those too. Um, I wish I could share screen. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I want to show you all this chart I found. So just going on the internet, you can just click. Um, you type in the area of your body and to say the emotion in relation to this. So, like, one that's really common right now is kidney. And so, kidney is fear or fright. And that's a sensation that we're all moving out of right now. And so, as we move away from that paradigm, a lot of us are sensing it. And so, therefore, we're noticing our body saying, hey, look at me. This area needs to be resolved. And it's assumed that we have this template or this cheat sheet of um, this list of what it means for us. So anyway, I can't figure out how to share screen. I guess you can't on this method, but there's just a lot of awesome resources about that. You can find a lot of it mostly through acupuncturist websites and things like that. And that leads into the one last thing I want to say for just everybody right now is that the meridian tapping stuff is really helping, and so if you want to search that in the YouTube, there's so many videos about how to do that meridian tapping. It's really useful. It's relieving. There's just it's very beneficial. So I just jumped. Okay, here we go. Mia says, oh, they're talking to each other. Yeah. So Kendra says Epsom salt baths help some. CBD creams. Yeah. Epsom salt all the way. 1111 from Portland. Good to see you. Hello. All one, slowing down, breathing, hand on heart into this now gentle, kind, loving with self, really assist and ripples out to lax. I love that. Oh, you have some cool energy. I like you all one. And there's talking to each other some more. Karen, I also feel like I am moving in and out of reality. We are. We're moving in and out of reality into real. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It looks like it's kind of like a film that's lifting up. This film looks kind of gray, um, sort of, and you don't even notice that it's gray until it starts to lift up, and then you see beneath it that it's like so much more vibrant and lively. The color is just like, whoa! It's almost as if we have a whole nother spectrum of light, and in that it's disorienting. And so that is one of the things that's always on my list these past little while is disorientation feeling. It usually with it comes like this some kind of like vertigo, dizziness kind of feeling, almost like you're not sure where gravity is supposed to wants you to put your put your feet, kind of a thing. So it's really you moving into Gaia. We are already standing on Gaia. It's just remembering or noticing that we are, and removing the agreements that we have made of what reality would be. Right. That's really cool that you're having that, Karen. Vicky says, yes, Karen, same here. All one, experiencing pristine paradise more and more. Shown stunning portals in Gaia. Me too. Oh, they're so neat. That happened to me just recently. I'm going to show it because I've never had this happen or heard about it. I didn't realize how many people would be like stunned by it. So I was doing that same thing that you're talking about, connecting with Gaia. And there are these milky white pools of light that are like collected here, collected there. And there's also these highway rivery places. And I've been going there a little while, but I didn't do that. What I had done this time was I went to source, and source energy was brought directly. It was so much different than normal than I've done before. And then just as I touched the energy of that white, beautiful white light of Gaia that's underneath the underground rivers that they are, it looked like it popped, but it was a good thing. And at the same time, I had put a brand new sage stick. So it was like one of these small ones. And they're packed really tight. So for one of these to burn very well is really difficult. You're lighting it all the time. This one burned up in a flash. I looked at the clock. I'd only been in meditation for 15 minutes. When that pop happened, so did my shell. Like it completely, look at this. Like it burned. The whole bottom burned out. There's a big burn mark on my desk as well. And I've never seen one of these do that. Like it was so bizarre. And the stick of sage was completely gone except for a couple of pieces that were off the edge and didn't make contact with the heat. And it takes days to burn one of those up usually. So really fun energy connecting with Gaia. It didn't feel scary at all. It's actually really exciting. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like it felt like the two energies connecting in such a strong way created a result. And it didn't feel like it was a local result either. It felt global. So that's just really fun that happens. That's really cool. Thank you, all one. Spiritual warrior. Yes, Karen and Vicky, I feel like I'm timeline jumping back and forth. Yep. almost like being on two places at once. And we are in a lot of ways as we close timelines. I noticed that it looks kind of like an iris. Zoop. After we close it, it doesn't look as bright until it's finishing closing. Then it's like zoop, that part is bright. And that's what I'm really seeing the most of, knowing that we had just done that, knowing there was work there, though having not fully understood that was what I was doing while I was in the moments. It's very fascinating that that's happening. And that's really cool that everyone's having the same experience. All one, as within, so without. Inner peace, filling it all. Accepting equals outer flow and peace. Aho. Nikki says, "Sister, you're so on point. I truly needed this. So nice to know we are evolving together." Yes, thank you for saying that, Nikki. That's beautiful. It's that's the whole thing about this moment right now, is that it was designed the way that it is for a purpose. It's all like having there are so many free wills that are involved in the creation of each now moment, for it to, even though there's so many different elements that need to line up, all having it be so perfect and eloquent and like a well choreographed ballet. It's amazing. And for us to simultaneously sense this at the time that we have chosen to start to utilize this internet resource as a way of connecting this information, and the throat chakra no longer being barred, so we're able to share without knowing that it won't cause any kind of unpleasant or undesirable consequence or repercussion. And then we just start to speak. Speaking in this throat chakra area, there's a lot going on here right now for a lot of people. What's really interesting, I'm noticing that a lot of us have our throat chakras open, though there's areas that look much more muscular than other parts of the throat chakra. It's really fascinating. I hadn't really considered it in so many parts before. And that is being opened up while we are moving past this place of not being able to share. And so if you are interested and available on Fridays, we have our group Zoom meetings for this purpose, so we can speak our truth and to help open the throat chakra up. A lot of oral and dental kind of related stuff. Jaw stuff. The jaw stuff right now is bothering me. I've never had this. I had a sensation of it a few times, but that was due to like a variety of other things, like eating something that was just really hard to chew kind of sensation. But this is different. Like, so there's something going on with the jaw for me right now. It almost feels like my lower jaw, my lower teeth want to be in front of my upper teeth, which is the opposite of the position of it's really strange. I don't know, anyone else? Hey Kim, hello family, love you. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. I'm so glad to see you. Vegan Vixen, hello, sweetie. Pamela, I'm not getting the notifications to tell me that you have an upcoming show. I don't know why. I just happened upon this one. It's really annoying, as I don't want to miss any of your shows. Oh, so I actually think I saw you comment that, or someone else had commented that at one point recently. So in order to try to resolve that today, right before I went live, I shared it as a post in the community section, and I shared this link. I'm not sure why that occurs. It does happen on an ebb and flow kind of thing. There was a time that people said that about my other videos. So I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit of a shadow banning, and at the same time, it's kind of funny to me. I feel like if there's a shadow banning happening, then I'm speaking the truth, so I feel validated in what I'm doing. That's like, okay, you're doing the right thing. I'm sorry that you're not able to find them. Know that apart from an occasional mishap like the electricity issue on Sunday, that I typically will go live every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK time, and 5 a.m. uh, AEST. I think that's so. I saw someone write I not that one. I just follow. I don't know if that's the main Australian time or what. I know there's like two different time zones, at least. Um, Very much like the states. I don't know if y'all know this, but Australia is very much the same size as the United States of America. So it's kind of interesting. They make it so small on the map. Um, So yeah, just know you can set your clock for that, and most often you'll see me on Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All one, infinity. Yes, nature equals negative ions. We need more of them. Grounding for rest, bathing, etc. helps so much. Feel like a kid on a wonderful adventure. Went out in Gaia. Winged ones everywhere, singing plus plus plus. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing. Kim, put some Windex on it. I know, right? um, oh wow, this is a beautiful name. I don't I hope that I pronounced it correct. I love this. It's very cool spelling. Aina, Iana, Iana, Aina. It's I don't I hope that I said it close enough. Please let me know how to say it. I love the spelling though. It's aesthetically pleasing. That's a really beautiful name. I have pain from the neck all the way down to the legs. Have lost 30 kilograms in this energy. A lot of pain. Also felt the irritation. Yeah, so either we're having sensation of right now I'm going through again loss of appetite period. I'm leaving. I'm kind of glad, honest, because I'm leaving behind this bulking up period that I've not really resisted exactly, just not really wanted to have happen, especially when the temperature started to warm up and my summer clothes didn't fit me the way I wanted them to. I was kind of just unhappy about it. A lot of people are having the bulk up or the loss, and then back and forth. It's almost like a pendulum in a way until we find our own homeostasis, until we all find our own balance, rather. And so um, that's something that a lot of people are having. Also noticing more and more liquid-like diet, being drawn more to, um, not such solid foods, like, a lot of people are wanting to juice and do things like that. I do, I don't juice, I don't have one of the juicer type things, but um, I am very big into juice, particularly orange juice, and I'll go through periods of days where I'm just drinking tea. I make a ground coffee with, dandelion root, and it's really actually very good for, detoxing and purging stuff too, because we still collect stuff whether or not we want to, just being in the world that we're in, so it helps purge that out. And teas, so juices, teas, and this coffee, and I'll go for days, sometimes longer than that, with just eating and just having those instead of food. Um, I also notice that I don't do it on purpose. Like, I don't say, "Okay, I'm gonna fast now," or anything like that. I just have gotten to the point where I start listening to my body. Your body tells you what it is that you need to do. Like, in my experience, there was a big window of time in my life where eating a certain food meant to have an antacid. Instead of saying, I acknowledge that my body's saying, I don't like that, that somehow in that, for me in this body, that's a toxin. And instead of seeing that, acknowledging that, I would just take something else to cover up the symptoms of my body saying, please don't. And so you just kind of slowly start to listen to your body after a while and notice some weird shifts. I heard something really cool, a flexitarian. That's more of in alignment of who I am. Um, I'm basically a vegan, and then all of a sudden, probably about 5 or 6 times a year, I'll have this craving and this urge for usually chicken or fish. Um, and I will eat that particular meal and then regret it because I'll notice my body's purging, and then I'm back to normal again, and I don't want it again for a while. This is unique for me because I had been a carnivore for the vast majority of my life, and then slowly noticed more and more allergy-like symptoms to different kinds of meat. First, starting with red meat, like ground meat and stuff, moving through all of the meats eventually, and realizing that it's just something that my body doesn't like, and it just wasn't worth the consequence of eating those things, so I slowly omitted them. Interesting enough, the neighbor doctor guy is telling me that a lot of people are coming in right now with this, what they're calling meat allergy. It's become a really common phenomenon where people are all of a sudden having this allergy. It makes sense to me, being on this ascension journey. More and more and more of us are leaving behind denser foods. Now, I'm not giving any advice or suggestions, simply to listen to your body and follow it. Some of us really are in the proper place for ourselves when we're eating these things, and some of us it's not what our body needs right now. So a flexitarian, I really like that. I'll call myself that, I think. Trey B, I used to never get sunburned, just deep tan last year, and this year I'm getting burnt. My cactus are also getting burnt. Is this due to the accelerating solar activity? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I've actually noticed that too. I don't tend to burn, and I did have a little bit of shedding of skin, just a slight, not like like it I had when I was much younger, we used sun uh, uh cream, what's it called? The stuff the lotion-like substance that you put on to avoid the sun. Um, and as soon as well, when I used it, I used to get blisters, and like I would just always be burned and just to a crisp, and then my skin would peel off in large globs. And then I stopped using sunscreen. Then I stopped using it, and then I started tanning. So, that was a side note from back there, and then just like you for over a decade, not tanning then, now we're getting these solar flares, the UV, levels are higher. You'll notice too that the sun is brighter, like you just need like 5 pairs of sunglasses. I've been wearing sunglasses, I don't wear sunglasses usually. You can see my little sunglass lines. It's becoming so much more bright that I'm wanting that kind of on the occasion of these solar flares for sure. So yeah, I would say yes. I'm noticing it too. The plants need much more water than usual, so that's something else. Um, Barbara, I subscribe to get notified when you go live, but I'll catch you on the tail end of your show. Is it on my end or yours? It should come up right away. As soon as I go live, it should say, "This person's live." And then because I put a link up before, when I'm by myself, I can't do that through Zoom for some reason. I don't have that ability. Everybody else has this button, and I have the same screen and the same everything else without the button to do a notification ahead of time. But when I'm by myself, I'm able to put a link up, and you should be able to have a countdown, and everything. So I don't know. It's very interesting. I'll have to look into that a little further. Vanya says, electricity through my body all the time. Okay, yes, we are having this really big sensation right now. This motion and movement of this light, of this energy, it does feel like very much like electricity. Energetically speaking, it's been really fun because I can see energy in people. And energetically speaking, it's been really fun to watch. Everyone is lighting up what's the right? It's a rainbow color of just swirly, continually moving throughout their body. It looks like um, the blood system or the circulatory system in the person's body, but it's their nerves, and it's lighting up. I just hit the microphone. I'm sorry if it was very loud. Anyway, and it's just lighting up like one of those LED lights that just like one of those like lightsabers that they have the different color of LED. That's what it looks like as it moves through. The back color, the main color is white, but then there's this sensation, this translucent element of all the different colors. It's really, really cool. And that's happening more on a lot of people. So while I'm watching it and noticing it, people are talking about feeling the electricity. So I think that's what they're sensing. Pretty cool that you noticed that. Thank you for bringing that up. Excuse me. Kim, happy holiday, Pamela. Thank you. Today is Freedom Day in my family. Today is the day that we left behind a life and started this one. So it's a holiday for us. Every year we celebrate. So this will be one of the only things I do today, and then I'm going to shut off the computer and we are going to go fishing. Not really. We don't actually eat fish, but it's fun to be around them and go play in the water. Trey says, I laugh at my butt off, Kimberly. Windex. I know. It's so funny. I don't know why I didn't think I could say ass just now, but I just. um, HPU went through Ascension Symptoms and menopause. Oh, yeah. I've thought about people that are going through both right now. I've talked to a lot of pregnant women over recent. weeks and months and had the same conversation. Menopause, um, and pregnancy, as well as for those of us who are still cycling, like the cycle part is really rough. Oh, it's just, but specifically menopause, that has got to be, my heart goes out to you, sweetie. Vanya says, same here, except I now know it's basically just ascension big time and not really menopause. Yeah, it's funny. I actually thought I was going through early menopause until I started to talk to some of the men that are going through exact same symptoms as me. And that was when I was like, okay, this is proof. Like before, I was like, this feels like it's because everyone's doing it. But then when men are doing it, come on. You're so sweet, Pamela, says Dana. Yeah, blah, excuse me, Danita. Um, I'm good. I hope you're doing well, good as well. I am. I'm so good to see you. We've been having a very, very awesome day with energy just surging in and also making us feel like we're on an emotional roller coaster, which is awesome. Because when you're on an emotional roller coaster, it's like the agitation cycle of the laundry. It brings up what needs to be seen. That's something that's happening for a lot of people right now. People are thinking that it's psychic attacks or PTSD kind of stuff, where it's like flashbacks almost. What that is that, and not always, but this is what's happening right now, and it has been happening on and off, is that once you're at a place where you're able, like you're energetically able to heal what needs to be healed, then it says, hey, I'm right here. Remember me? And it brings the stuff up that needs to be healed. Often these these flashback experiences aren't experiences that happen in this lifetime. And so it can make it feel more difficult to understand why it's there, where it's coming from. And not always is it your past life either. Sometimes, often in my experience these days, because I've done all the ancestral healing and done all the other kind of healing, what's coming up for me is stuff that's happened from others' incarnations that need healing. So I'm looking at that specifically, directly. It's really interesting. So, um, HPU, I'm 46. I've had tests done, low testosterone, progesterone levels, which is weird because I was feeling fine. And from one day to the next, my hormone levels dropped overnight. Wow. Well, that makes some sense. However, there's also a lot of this um, balancing out stuff. It's kind of interesting how when something happens and that is meant to happen so deeply, it happens in every place. As above, so below really means a lot more than I ever realized. And so when we're having a lot of this stuff, we're dealing with the balancing of the genders. We're dealing with the balancing of divine masculine and divine feminine, right? And so we're noticing is happening through the social world as well as a lot of different um like the planets and stuff. They're shifting their gender and all this kind of thing for you to notice this having to do with your your levels as well, your hormone levels. It makes me wonder if it has more to do with the energy that we're in than menopause. I don't know though. It's really interesting. Catherine, my hair is falling out. Hair has been such a topic. And usually it is like the hairline, like this area here that women, men, everyone are talking about. It's just this, it's like weird thinning as well as, so some people have told me that like right around their ears as well as right behind the back of their head, this is the area that their hair is like thinning or like just all of a sudden pretty much bald. It's something that a lot of people are having. Um, I know for me, my hair's changed too. It's gotten a lot different. My hair is just before we got the sun, it started to lighten up like very rapidly, as well as it has a whole different texture. It doesn't feel like my hair anymore. It's really bizarre. Um, though I've not noticed my hair thinning at this point. My heart goes out to anybody who's got that experience going on. It does feel temporary. It feels like a lot of this stuff, um, let me say this again. A lot of this stuff, if not all of it, is temporary. These experiences that we're going through are an upgrade and a helping us into this next experience. And some of it requires that we leave behind things. It's interesting to consider being that our hair is a way that you can like see a person's diet as well as a lot of different chemicals in their body and stuff that it stays in your hair for a long time. But I wonder if there are areas of our body that are trying to purge off these chemicals that are just kind of still lingering through the antenna of our hair. Very interesting. Um, Anyone else going through symptoms like that? Vanya, I wouldn't do those tests or get overwhelmed by their results. Yeah, I agree. A lot of the medical tests that they have out there are not completely designed to help us keep in a happy resonance of love and light. Whoa, I just jumped and all of a sudden there's a lot more comments. I only had like 3 comments left to read for a minute second ago. Hold on. Well, I wouldn't have rambled so long if I knew there were so many comments. I apologize, everyone. Um, Okay. Stacy, so good to see you. I've wondered about you. Sarah, I've been reminding myself to say to my angels out loud, please tag and treat, especially Raphael. Yes. Yeah, it's really awesome to connect with the archangels. They are there for you. They're there to connect with you and to help you. Um, they just need your consent. And so to reach out and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you," or "I would like your help," is a method for which to assist you through that. I'm going to jump down to the bottom because there's so many comments that I've missed. I apologize. Um, let's see. Okay, so we have Heather. Iodine supplements supplementation helps with the hairlessness. I've found. Oh, the hair loss. Oh, cool. So iodine supplements. Iodine's really really useful for a lot of things. It's very amazing. Um, all right, let's go here. So Sarah, he advised soaking flannel in castor oil and leaving it in the ear as long as necessary instead of cotton ball. I think I missed a reference because I'm just jumping in the middle. I'm so sorry. Oh, she's talking. You're having a conversation with somebody else. Okay. Um, Jenny, hi. It's good to see you. Happy Family Day, Pamela. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Guess I'm a flexosexual. All these ex-girlfriends, now a husband. That's awesome. I actually like that a lot. Flexosexual. Um, Thank you for all the answers. I eat a lot, but the weight don't go down. But a lot of smoothies, Enya says. Um, yeah, it's really interesting for me. I don't really know what the I know that when I tuned into it, just because I was like, this is something different. What's going on? What I understood, and someone else actually echoed that back later on, so it was validating to me. But what this they were saying is that um, when we need to contain more light, the mass of our body needs to grow. And so, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I know that the reason that we're being called to drink so much more water is that being the body of water helps to assist this light to move through this plasma that's moving through us. We're getting a lot of assistance from these solar flares. Like they may seem disruptive and seem like, I don't know, weird. However, they're really helping us. There's a lot of things that are throughout different prophecies and things that had brought this window of time up and talked specifically about the sun. The Hopi prophecy, the rainbow tribe, the white calf buffalo woman prophecy. The end of it said, "Then the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Mu shall rise again." Mu is the representation of the consciousness of Lemuria. Perhaps not so much a physical place, but all places. Like from what I remember of it, it was everywhere. And to say Atlantis or to say Lemuria was simply to say something like Western culture. It was a very broad stroke for many areas, though there were hubs, there were places, there were gathering points. It just wasn't. And so this is leading into that we're awakening right now. We are reconnecting with the consciousness of Mu, with Lemuria, with the knowledge base. The last thing that needed to come forward is this druidic knowledge that has been kind of kept safe and hidden until we were ready for it, and now we are. And so a lot of people are starting to get this information regarding the druid and these people that had come before and had laid these very important elements of truth for us to find. It's a lot of clues, and it's like a whole goose chase or whatever. You find that you have to find this breadcrumb then that breadcrumb kind of thing. However, we need to come to the understanding and the knowledge of it on our own. We can use it, we can do it with each other, though to go to the master to teach us and to tell us what it is often doesn't work. And that's why this occurs. So that's a little bit of a ramble. Thank you for letting me go on for about that for a moment. Karen, plus Violet Heart to Pamela and everyone for this amazing group. Oh, I love you. Thank you for saying that. I do have to wrap it up in a moment. Carmen Ham says, love and peace to everyone. Much love from Carmen. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Karen Morris says, been a little lost, feeling like I'm the creator and have to do it all alone. Like our training wheels are off. Yeah, very much. And as we are in this place where we're starting to remember, a lot of us are feeling like that we've been abandoned or we're separated or alone, when in fact, what's occurring is Source Creator has just let go of the back of the bicycle seat and let us ride our bike forward without training wheels for the first time, just like you said. And all of a sudden, us realizing I'm riding all by myself, like I'm approaching the stop sign at the end of the block, and I'm all by myself. You know, well, they're just right there. They're still there. They're running down the sidewalk with us, shouting chants of joy and love and congratulations and keep going kind of encouragement. So knowing that helps, to know that you're truly not alone. Stephanie, shall we take a moment to tap the thumbs up, please, folks? Thank you so much for saying that, Stephanie. And Stephanie says, yes, come now, Moo. Yeah, we're almost there. It's so beautiful. Stephanie also says, hey, that's awesome. I'm not getting fat. I'm preparing to hold more light. Love it. Yeah, it's really it's really true. It's what we're doing. It's makes sense too. Carla says, hi, anyone else having skin issues? I have a weird allergy. And yep, by the way, yes, the answer is yes. I have a weird allergy in my neck and face, itching and redness, feel like sunburn. It's not a food allergy or something I can identify. This is super common. So I'll read Stephanie's response really quickly. She says, yes, weird bumps, zits, rashes, and stuff. Yes. Weird stuff. Like, I'm actually going to show you my cracked phone really quickly. I'm going to hold this up to the light so you can see my knee, because there's no way that my knee's going that close up it's the most bizarre thing. So I'm getting these all over my body, but this is my knee. Yeah, I dropped my phone. It's so tragic. And so you can see all of these, and they're really hot, well pronounced. Like they're big and they itch. That's one type of rash that a lot of people are getting, and not just on the knees. Most people are getting it around their torso, specifically around their sacral chakra, their orange, or their, as well as their solar plexus, so the yellow, that area, that space. A lot of people are getting it. I'll get like these weird rashes on my arms. It seems kind of like psoriasis or something like that for a moment. And then there's just this other part of it that it feels kind of like it's moving. Your skin is moving. And so zits, though, they're not really even real zits. That's the thing, And so that makes me feel like a little bit reassured. However, it's just a thing that's happening. We're purging. As we purge out stuff, I can tell if I've left my chosen ideal diet, because all of a sudden acne, like my body is like, why did you do that to me? Get it out of here, and pushes it to the surface of the skin. So it's something that's happening for a lot of people. Spiritual warrior, yes, over here, weird pimples and what I'm not sure are big bites. Yeah, just our skin's doing this. And so knowing that this is the largest organ in our body, It's something that a lot of us are going to be going through, because there's so much of it, and particularly as we purge. My suggestion, my guidance in that is to just be more aware of what we're taking into our body, and to remember the water. Drinking the water really helps. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. I am out of here. I love you all so very much. Thank you for joining today. And I hope to see you on Friday at our group Zoom meeting that's at 4 p.m. I don't know what time I said it was before, but it's at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, and that goes for 2 hours. I always put the link in the community section on Thursday, so it'll be there tomorrow. It's a new link every week, as well as I will see you on Sunday at 12 p.m. for our next live Zoom, meeting like this. I love you all so much. Stick around. Stay in there. Stay. You're good. We got this, okay? You're not alone. A lot of us are feeling this way. And though it's not maybe the most comfortable experience, it is temporary. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Aho blessings.